Have you ever felt like your brain was running on a completely different operating system? Well, today, we're deconstructing a really fascinating personal philosophy. Basically, the source code for a mind that thinks, processes, and operates in a fundamentally different way. Let's get right into it. Okay, so to really get this, you've got to hear it first. The source material for this whole idea kicks off with this incredibly intense audio clip. It's designed to simulate what it's like inside this person's head. It's fast, it's layered, it's honestly a little chaotic, and it's the perfect way to introduce the mind we're about to explore.
So, what's all that noise about? It brings us right to this core concept, the high bandwidth human. Now, this isn't just about thinking faster in a straight line. No, this is about processing multiple parallel streams of information all at once. For most people, that would be overwhelming, but for this individual, it's just their natural state of being.
All right, to really understand this operating system, we have to start at the foundation. We're going to call it the system architecture. Think of this as the underlying code, the fundamental rules that govern how this mind is built from the ground up.
This right here visualizes the central difference perfectly. See, most of us experience thought sequentially. One idea leads to the next, like a single file line. But this system, it operates in parallel. It's not a single line, it's multiple threads, ideas, patterns, data streams, all running at the exact same time.
And this isn't just some vague idea. The source audio actually puts a number on it, 7. 7 distinct thought threads running in parallel. I mean, just imagine trying to track 7 different conversations at once. For this mind, that's the baseline. It's a staggering amount of data to manage.
And we can see exactly where these rules come from. This is a direct look at the written manifesto, the actual code. This isn't just a theory, it's a documented personal system. You can even see right there, rule number 6, what's called the exception code. This line right here is the absolute core of the exception code. It frames this whole way of thinking not as a choice, but as fundamental wiring. It's not about trying to fit in, it's about operating from the premise that you are, by your very nature, an exception to the rule.
So you might be wondering, with so many internal threads running, how is focus even possible? The system's answer is what's called fortress attention, and it's a ruthless, methodical process of eliminating all external distractions. Each step is like another layer of the fortress wall, designed to protect that internal state of flow from any kind of corruption.
Okay, so if the architecture is the internal code, how does this system interact with the outside world? That brings us to the next section, the human protocol. You can think of this as the API, the specific rules for how it interfaces with other people.
And, just like before, the rules are laid out explicitly, right there in the manifesto. This entire section is about creating a clear, unambiguous protocol for communication. It's about setting the terms of engagement before an interaction even begins.
The rules here are just incredibly direct. There is zero room for misinterpretation. Just think about this one. Ambiguity is emotional litter. What that means is the protocol demands absolute clarity. It expects you to say what you mean and mean what you say, completely eliminating any guesswork or games. This is actually from a later section on boundaries, but man, it just perfectly summarizes the philosophy of the entire human protocol. Boundaries aren't suggestions to be discussed or negotiated, they are hard lines that are simply enforced. It's a non-negotiable part of protecting the system's integrity.
So how is this high-capacity state even sustained? Well, that brings us to the mechanics of flow. This isn't about, just hoping you get in the zone. No, this is about treating flow as a scientific state that has to be chemically and strategically managed.
And looking at the source text, you can see the principles that govern this state. Notice the language here: gospel, science, strategy. Flow isn't treated like some artistic whim. It's treated as a disciplined, almost religious practice.
A couple of principles here are absolutely critical. First, focus is chemistry, not mood. That implies that focus isn't random. It can be controlled, almost like a chemical reaction. And second, rules like solitude is my power source and silence is strategy just reinforce that flow is cultivated by deliberately removing all that external noise.
So all of these rules, the architecture, the protocols, the flow mechanics, they're all built on one final foundation. This is the creed. This is the ultimate set of non-negotiable beliefs that drives the entire system.
The whole creed ends with this beautifully simple but incredibly powerful summary of the entire philosophy. It's called the final directive, and it basically acts as the ultimate filter for every single decision and interaction.
And this boils the entire system down to a dead simple decision matrix. Does a person or a situation enhance your flow? You stay. Do they distract you? You go. If they understand, you align. And if they misread you, you release them. No drama, no fighting. It is the logical conclusion for a system that is built to protect its own internal state above all else. You know, deconstructing a system like this really makes you think. It's a unique, pretty rigid framework for navigating the world, which kind of leaves us with a final thought. If you were to sit down and write the code for your own mind, your own personal way of being, what rules would be in your operating system?